Good evening, welcome to another Focus on Friday, and tonight we're going to talk about Tom Waddell. Tom Waddell, born in 1937, November in fact, was an American physician, a decathlete who competed in the 1968 Summer Olympics for the Army, and founder of the Gay Olympics, which would go on to be called the Gay Games, and we'll get into why that is a little bit later. So Tom was originally born in Paterson, New Jersey, and at the age of 15, when his parents split, moved in with Jean and Hazel Waddell, who would then go on to adopt him. They were former vaudeville acrobats, and they encouraged him to take gymnastics while he was going through school, and athleticism was something that was a great passion to him, so he took to it very well. He attended the Springfield College in Massachusetts on a track scholarship and originally was going to major in physical education, but switched over to pre-med following the sudden death of his best friend and co-captain of the gymnastics team, which moved him deeply and made him consider going into medicine as a result. Tom attended medical school in the New Jersey College of Medicine, a division of Seton Hall University, and in 1965, he took a medical internship in Beth El Hospital in Brooklyn. It was during his internship that he traveled to Selma, Alabama to participate in the civil rights movement, which he did during the duration of that movement. In the following year, in '66, he was drafted into the Army, and he became a preventative medicine officer and paratrooper. When he found out that he was being shipped to Vietnam, he protested as a conscientious objector, being a doctor, fearing that they would discharge him. Instead, they sent him to the Olympics representing them in gymnastics. After an honorable discharge from the Army, he undertook his medical residencies at Georgetown University and Montfair Medical Center in the Bronx. He did research on viruses with Walter Reed Army Hospital in Washington, D.C., and in 1970, a graduate fellowship at Stanford University. He would then go on to move to San Francisco and start a private practice on 18th Street in the Castro neighborhood in 1974, and his medical background allowed him to travel quite extensively to the point where he even served as the personal physician for a Saudi prince and a Saudi businessman, and became the doctor for the Saudi Arabian Olympic team at the 1976 Olympics. He would go on to do a track meet in 1972, however, that would be the end of his athletic career, where he injured his knee in a high jump, and that was it. His injury was so severe that he couldn't do both medicine and Olympic activity on his own anymore. So instead, he returned to San Francisco and joined a gay bowling league. It was during that time that he was in the league that he had the idea to model a version of the Olympics that was much more inclusive and spoke more towards the underrepresented. So in the early 1980s, he created the first Gay Olympics and was immediately sued by the International Olympic Committee for using the word Olympic, because even though multiple organizations across the world have used Olympics in their title, gays can't have it, so they sued. And that lawsuit lasted for a very long time. That's why they're now called the Gay Games and not the Gay Olympics, even though they're held every single year. In 1981, while founding the Gay Games, he met two people that he would form the most intimate relationships of his life. One was a public relations man and fundraiser named Zone Artman, who would become his partner through his death. And the other was a lesbian athlete named Sarah Lewinston. And the two of them, she was a lesbian, he was a gay man, they agreed to have a daughter together because they both valued that aspect. They wanted to have a child, so they did it together and they raised them together. And to protect Sarah and their daughter's legal rights, they married in 1985. Unfortunately, in 1985, Tom was diagnosed with AIDS during the beginning parts of the AIDS crisis. And he did die the following year on July 11th at the age of 49. He did manage to see the gay games meet their second anniversary, and unfortunately the IOC outlasted him as far as their lawsuit, and so that was a thing. So that is Tom Waddell, a very interesting gentleman who basically brought modern Olympian activity into a demographic where it wasn't before, and he was a major contributor to the world of medicine. Y'all have a good night.